Hi everybody, I know it's been quite a long time since I made a tutorial, but it seems like I bead and do jewelry making more in the fall and winter than I do in the summer and spring. So I'm here, let me see if I can fix this camera a little bit. I'm here to try to teach you how to make this right here. This is made with 4 strands. And then I've got one on my wrist. I'm sorry the lighting is not that great. One on my wrist that's made from 8 strands. Now you can make them with 6 strands. I wouldn't go any more than 8. But I think it's an unusual bracelet and very pretty. Now what you will need for this tutorial is you'll need a couple of flat-nosed pliers. You'll need a clasp, and I've got 6/0 beads here. You also need beading cord. Now it comes in all different kinds of colors, and you can make all different kinds of versions of this bracelet. This is a fairly easy bracelet to make. If you make it this size, it does take a little while to make it, and I chose these colors because I thought it looked like fall. So anyway, you'll need this beading cord right here. Now, but you'll need, if you want to make a 4-strand bracelet, you'll need 2 pieces of 40 inches of cording. You'll need your 6/0 beads, and it depends on what size beads you can use. You got to get the size bead that will slip, the hole is big enough to slip onto your cord. And I wouldn't get real huge beads. It's going to take a whole lot more cording, and it's going to be a lot more bulky if you do. And like I said, you'll need these. Now what I've already done is I have put a jumper ring on this clasp. I've done it on both sides. And if I may have a tutorial on how to put a clasp on a jump ring on a clasp. If I do, I'll put the link right here. Alright, to get started now, you bring your 2 pieces together, and I always start with the big. Put it through that jump ring, and then you bring it down together. So you get it in the middle here. Put your cords together, and then you, now you know this might be too much cord. It doesn't matter. I'd rather have more cord when you get to the end of the project than to not have enough. It's really the hardest part about this bracelet is putting on the other end of the clasp. I've got it secured there pretty good. Now I need to tie a knot. And like I said, really the knot tying on each end is the hardest part. This one's easier than the one on the other end. And you've got 4 cords here, and that's why. Now I'm pretty satisfied with that right there. Can you see that? Let me bring it down a little bit for you. Like I said, I've not made tutorials and in a long time, so I got to get used to doing them again. Okay, you see that knot? And what I'll do is take my pliers, and I'll just pull on that knot and secure it real good. Just pull it. Don't pull your clasp. Pull from the knot. Alright, I have changed bead sizes. It is imperative that you get a bead that will fit onto your cord. Now right here I'm using, those others were 6/0 beads and these are too, but the hole must be smaller in them. And another thing I forgot to mention is that when you do your ends of your cords, what I do is, and I didn't tell you this, I dip my cords into glue, like white glue, any kind of white glue, and then I snip it off at the end in a diagonal. This will help you get your cord through your beads. Alright, let's start over. Now we're here for the fun. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to load this cord up with 24 beads. Alright, there's my 24 beads. Now, it may take you a while to do it. It always takes me a while to do it. I wanted to say I have cement and stuff on my fingers, so I hope you don't. But anyway, so you put, I put 24 beads on here because I'm doing it for my wrist size. You may not need 24 beads. If you wear like a 7-inch bracelet, you may just need 18. So whatever size bracelet you need, that's what size, that's how many beads. But you got to do it in a series of 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. Okay, so I've got my 24 beads in here. Now I'm going to pull them up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3 of them up here to the clasp. And I am going to tie probably about a 1/2 inch. Now this is not precise. You can do it however you want to, but I'm going to do it about a 1/2 inch from the clasp. I'm going to bring my, make a little knot. Bring my cord up through there. And bring my other beads up through the knot. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make a little knot here. Well, not really a knot even. I'm just going to tie those 3 beads up. You see that? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to hold it from the knot, not from the clasp, from the knot, and I'm going to pull to make that knot, that little, and there you go. There's your first little bunch of beads. And you continue doing this on down the cord. I'm going to do it about a 1/2 inch apart. But it really, I mean, it doesn't have to be precise. Just try to make them even if you can. And bring these rest of these beads up through here. Make a little knot, a little tie right there. I'll bring it up a little bit. There we go. There's our second little bead station. I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to pull and make that tight. Now I probably put that a little bit too wide apart, but that's okay. It doesn't matter, because once you get all these cords together, strung with your beads and knotted and tied, you're not going to be able to tell, you know, if you got one off a little bit or whatever. And the one I'm wearing right now, see, there's my other one. Take my pliers and pull that knot. And here's what you're getting. You're getting these little bead stations. Here's your clasp. Now what you do is you continue. I'll go ahead and do this whole one cord to show you. There's another one. And you have to have a ruler. You have to have your ruler so you can measure your bracelet. You got to measure from, let me bring it over, measure from your clasp on down. Now I'm at, this last knot is at 4 inches. Now because you're going to have multiple cords, you may have to make your bracelet just a little bit longer than what you usually wear because it's a little bit bulky. Anytime you got bulk, you have to add a little bit of size, a little bit of length to your bracelet. And you got to remember your clasp will add length on your bracelet. So you got to take that into consideration. Okay, there's my 24. Here's the end of my bracelet, and let me measure that out. That will give me, let's see if I can do it now, at least probably 1/4 of an inch. So we got to measure this now. Let me pull these beads back from the middle of my clasp. Okay, I've got it at 8 inches. So with my clasp, I could add one more set of beads. I think that's what I'm going to do, because I like to wear my bracelets loose. So let me string 3 more beads on there. And so I've got 27 on this cord now. Alright, that's a good long tail. I'll need that tail. You need extra at the end to tie. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly the same thing that I've done to this cord. I'm going to do it to these other cords. And when I get that done, I'll be right back. Bye. Alright, there we got the bracelet. Now we're going to have the cords down here at the end. Like I said, this right here, to me, is the hardest part of the whole bracelet. It sure is. Alright, I've got that jump ring on there. Everything's pulled pretty taut. Now what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to make a knot as close to your beads and this cord. And we're going to, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to wrap these cords around, bring them through the hole, get every one of them. Now here's the hard part. You got to make sure your bracelet is even. Make sure it's even. Now, but you want to bring this knot as close to your beads, because you know you want your bracelet a certain size. So I'm going to pull it up, pulling it up, and I'm going to pull these knots through. Now I'm doing a pretty good job. My bracelet's still pretty straight. I never pull from the clasp. I always pull from the knot. That's the strongest part of your bracelet. Okay, there you go. Now what I'm going to do is bring this clasp around, this tail end clasp. I'm going to take my pliers and I am going to pull on that knot. Not on the clasp, but on the knot, to get that knot as taut as I can. And your clasp is going to look a little bit funny, but it'll be okay. We're trying to make this knot, just pull as tight as you can. Trying to make that knot. That's a pretty good knot right there. Let me show you. That's a pretty good knot. Alright, now what I would do is I would cut these cords off as close as you can get them. And then I would put glue on this. I use this right here. You can use E6000. This is jewelry and metal glue, and I would put that on this knot and on the ends right there and put it all over the knot. Try not to get it on your jumper ring and your clasp, but I would put it on there and let that dry before I even put the bracelet on. And there you go. There's your bracelet. Let me clasp it for you. Up there, through the clasp. And there's your bracelet. It is, I like to bring you jewelry that is different, and you know, you can make this with any color beads you wanted to. Pull out there. Any color bead. To me, this is more of a fall bracelet. It's a little bit youngish, but I'm almost 58 years old and I would wear it. And so I hope that you enjoy. It looks pretty good on this end. There's the two knots. They're almost exactly the same. And it just takes time and patience, and I hope that you enjoy making this bracelet. I want to say thank you to all my new subscribers. I really appreciate you subscribing to me and supporting me. I will be making more videos. I'm going to try to do something Halloweeny with my next video. So anyway, this is handcrafted by Melissa. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks everybody. Bye.